Every time I'm like, oh no, there's no way I can do a worse stream. I can't possibly do anything worse. And then I do. I come up with something worse than I think probably any stream I've ever done. This is a new low. This What's up, gamers? I'm sorry, not gamers. What's up, students? This sucks. This actually sucks. Let's erase this off the chalkboard. There we go. It's 3 p.m. I don't have a bell to ring. But if I did, the bell would be ringing right now. Get y'allselves seated at your desks. Get out your little notebooks and Chromebooks or iPads or whatever they got the kids using these days. My chair is tiny compared to the ice. Have you considered it's just a big bottle? There's me for reference! Oh my god. Okay, anyways, hang on one moment. I'm saving something before I even start sharing my screen because we know how this goes. There we go. Alright, people on the internet. You know what we're gonna do today? I think we're gonna make something educational. I think that's what we're gonna do for today. This layout's great, thank you. I appreciate it. Nobody needs that amount of ice, says you. It's almost like I go through the stuff like it's water. That was really bad, I'm sorry. That was low-hanging fruit. I'm glad we're happy with the layout. That's an oversized ice. Okay. Even though I'm outnumbered, I stand firm in my decision. How big is this chalkboard? Big enough. I think everything else might just be undersized. Oh no, educational television. It's okay! It's okay, it's not like that. It's not like learning math and spelling and junk. It's actually sort of on brand. It is art related. This is more of an art class than anything else. I also realized my mic has different settings, so I'm trying a new one. We're gonna see if it sounds any better. It already, in Streamlabs, looks like it's a bit louder, which is so nice. Dirty chalkboard. Okay, listen. There were not many options to pick from. This is really sad. Okay, if y'all would like to kindly direct your attention into the description, there's actually, like, I've created a campus for us. If you will direct your attention, you can't reach that chalkboard? Well, you haven't seen how long my legs are. What if I stand on the... What if I stand on top of the desk? I can reach it. I'm gonna sit myself back down now. Oh, man. Okay, alright. Anyways. I had it open off tab in YouTube so I can have the chat open, but I forgot there was, like, latency, and myself coming out of the chair, like, moving on the screen just absolutely scared the crap out of me. Good heavens. Okay, anyway. Alright, there we go. We got the projector up on the chalkboard, just like any good classroom. Oh, you know what? I can make it look more realistic. Let's see... where's that gonna be? Let's do screen. Oh yeah, now that's the kind of projector I remember back in my day. I think that's actually quite perfect. It will stay as is. All right, we're gonna take notes the good old-fashioned way. This is how we do it around here in these parts. Okay, yeah, we can see that. Alright, if you're here, you want to know how cartoons are made. So that's what I have been hired, and I'm being paid a fair wage to teach you. I've been told to tell you that I'm being paid a fair wage, and that I've been told I cannot elaborate farther than that. I'm a big fan of caffeine. Okay. We're gonna turn down the stabilization because this is ridiculous. That's so much nicer. Kind of. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, every cartoon needs a small handful of things. I hope y'all are taking notes, by the way. I mean, you can always literally just go back and rewatch the stream, but we're already like 8 minutes in, and this is the most we have. I've been getting bullied for my larger than average bottle of water and not being able to reach the chalkboard. Every cartoon has a handful of elements that we're going to be going into over this course. I don't begin to know how long this class is going to be, by the way. It'll still be like 2-hour streams, but I don't know how many of them they're going to be. Definitely not every week, because I don't think I can manage to look at this, whatever's going on here, every Friday. We need characters, conflict. That's really about it. You need characters and you need conflict. Because otherwise, nothing happens. It's just a still image. You might as well go outside and take a picture of a flower or something. Which is fine, but that's not what we're here to do. My heavens, I love caffeine. Alright. Alright, characters... Not necessarily like a living thing, like items can be characters too, and we'll get into that later. But you need protagonist, antagonist for conflict. It could be anything, like there's literally no guidelines. As long as you have a main character and something that serves to stop that main character from reaching whatever goal it is they want to reach, you're pretty much set. You have everything you need. You could do it in either order. You could come up with a story first and then characters, or you can come up with character first and then stories. I think it's more interesting to come up with the characters first and then the story, because you can come up with something that directly contradicts something the character stands for. You could give a specific goal to this character that either seems out of the scope of something they would usually want to do, so that can be interesting. You can add certain plot elements that revolve around the character. Like, to me, it just feels more interesting having a story focused on the character before the plot. So that's what we're gonna start with today. Today we're doing characters. Mostly character design. Specifically character turnarounds. Because for anything, whether it's we're focusing on animation, right? But whether it's animated or not, you need a good character reference, because otherwise either the character's design is gonna end up being inconsistent, or if you're working with other people, they're probably not gonna know what to do. Let's see, is it this? Yes. Thankfully, we can make it nice and easy. We're just gonna grab something that we already have. Because for right now, okay, this is... Everybody's gonna say this, right? Characters are kind of the whole point. Exactly. This is also something everybody and their mom has already said. But as long as you know, like, the building blocks and how something works, that usually feels like the best starting point to do something on your own. So just for today, we're going to start with doing a character turnaround, and then after that, we're going to focus on making, like, whole, complete, original characters, just because there's certain... I feel like it'd just be smarter to have how a turnaround works in mind. That way, when you design your character, you're not doing something that's going to be... Nothing is impossible, right? Like, you can make your characters as simple or as detailed as you want, but, like, you'll have a good understanding of the effort you're going to be putting in so you won't overshoot the character. For the most part, you can really... The design can be whatever, but depending on how it's animated, there are certain things you're going to want to avoid. But that'll be something we do later on down the line when we get to actual character design. For now, we're just starting with, like, probably what's one of the most simple things, as long as the character has already been designed. And in our case, that's already been done. We're not working as the character designers. We're just here to make a reference for animators or character builders to work from. So I'm gonna cheat and make a folder with a symmetry ruler on it. I don't know how well you can see the symmetry ruler, but basically it's just a line going straight down the middle. Well, that's not my brush. It's just like right. Do y'all see how that works? Most digital art programs have a feature like that. If you're drawing traditionally on paper, I can't help you. That's not really done a ton in modern, like, animation, cartoons, comics. A lot of it's done digitally just because you get cheat tools like this. Usually it's a smart move to start with just, like, facing, like, directly front towards the camera, and then you can work out from around it. I just bashed my hand into the microphone, sorry fellas. So, like, you're gonna want to start with, like, character facing the front. Get some super simple basic proportions. Have arms out so you can see them pretty easily. Get, like, a basic silhouette. Do different angles. In our case, we're doing 3/4 angle. I'll go more into depth. This sort of thing. Like, this is the kind of goal we have in mind for right now. Obviously, this isn't actually what we're going to be using. This is just to give you all a visual of what's going to be happening. For the most part, for a good character turnaround, you're going to want... There we go. New layer to take some notes. I could type these notes out so they'd be easier to read, but it's not the same. It's not the same as writing it on a whiteboard or on a projector way too fast for anybody to comprehend. That's not how we do it in school. So you're gonna want front, 3/4 front. Let me give y'all an example of what I mean. Instead of just saying, hey, we'll get into it later. Why not just get into it right now? Front, 3/4 front. Side. 3/4 back. Oh, there's the class pet. Here's the class pet. Say hello to Mary. Everybody's already met her. Come here, baby. You want me to pick you up or do you want to do it yourself? She has trouble jumping, but her pride won't let me just pick her up if she wants to be in my lap. Come here, baby. You want to do it yourself? Let me just pick you up. Come on. Accept help. There, is that so bad? She's in my lap now. 3/4 back. Let me give this guy some ears, just so it's easier to see. And then you're gonna want a full back angle. For other stuff like 3D animation or for a more complex 2D animation, you can have more of these, less of these. You can have different angles between front 3/4, like more, I guess, not in betweens, because that's not the right terminology. But you can break it down further so you have more angles to pull reference from. Or if you're doing something like building a 3D model, you really only need front and side, maybe back if there's something different enough on the back of the character that you need a reference to build directly on top of. But for what we're doing, we're only going to be worried about these 5. Like any other drawing, you just start with a sketch. The way you do it is a little bit different than a regular character sketch. Like, a lot of times on character references, they're in some type of pose that sort of defines a bit about them as a character. But for a turnaround, generally you want to avoid that just so everything's super easy to see. Proportions aren't messed up from being on different angles. Whoa, heavens! That wasn't even something Mary did. That was me being clumsy. Everything almost just fell off my desk. I'm not cut out to be a teacher. We live vicariously through Technologica. Remember the series that was gonna happen and then didn't? Okay, so I'm just gonna start with a super quick sketch, just to get it out of the way. I usually start with the head. However you generally do a character sketch, you can do it the same way. You're just gonna want, if you have a symmetry ruler, you're gonna want to use it facing straight on towards the camera. Arms either in an A pose or a T pose. I would recommend an A pose because the shoulders look more natural. And we're not going to be worried about cleaning this up yet. That can come way later on down the line. Because then you're going to do one angle, you're going to clean it up, you're going to color it in, then you're going to be like, well, great work today, gang, and then you're going to call it a day. And then you're going to come back to it later and be like, oh, there's still so much left to do. You're going to psych yourself out. Don't do that. I picked one of the worst characters to do front angle for, because this is not a symmetrical design. I picked the worst possible one. It is what it is. It's fine. That's why I can do something different on a layer outside the symmetry folder. That's a little hack with Clip Studio if anybody also uses it. It's also not meant to look good. Like, you're just getting something on paper. That's all we're worried about. If you're feeling especially fancy, and if you have the budget for it, you can have a whole team and break this up into something that a bunch of different people do. But if you're here just casually watching this as a live stream, like in your living room, chances are you're probably not going to have an entire team. Like, you're probably doing a lot of the work yourself, or your team's not going to be more than like 5 people. Gonna add a super quick hair adjacent shape. We're gonna come back to that later because it goes behind the body. I'd rather do that first. Also, y'all notice there's only like 2 colors, 3 colors on this character, like, as a whole. There's hardly any detail. That's something we're gonna go more into depth on when we actually do character design. Probably, maybe not necessarily the next stream, but next time I do something like this. While you're doing this, it's always a good idea to do stuff on different layers so you can fix up proportions. Mary, don't do this. Not today. Be professional, Mary. No, don't step on my headphone wire. There you go. Be professional, Mary. Now she's curled up, sitting politely beside me in the same chair. She's dramatically resting her arm, or her chin on the armrest. Certified cat moment. For the sake of this, we're just gonna do nub hands. I'm gonna make a new layer, do this little triangle thing. You know, this is supposed to kind of be based on the technological logo, like how it's a mouse cursor. It doesn't read like that at all, but it's a purple triangle, so I can say that I tried. There you go. Now we have a front-facing character. Forgot a couple things. There we go. Now we've got our front-facing character. Which is a good start. It's also way too big. I'm using a 4K size canvas. You don't have to do anything this big. It really doesn't have to be super high quality. I'm just doing that because, one, my computer can handle it, so, like, why not? But also so it's easiest to see when I zoom in. Like, this is at 100% and it still looks pretty decent. Here's 200. Like, y'all can see it pretty good. That's what we're worried about for right now. So once you've got your front-facing character sketch, what you're going to want to do is, most digital art programs, as far as I know, if you go into your view settings and enable rulers like I have up here, you can just sort of drag down from it and place a guide anywhere you want. I don't know how easy that is to see because it's only like 1 pixel on the screen, so there's not really much I can do about it. But if you've done it before, you know already what I'm talking about. So you're going to want to place 1 guide right at where the ground would be. So like right... I've got mine lined up like right here with like where the sharper part of the shoes are. I'm also going to do one... Come on. What? It's... Come on now. Let me make a new guide. There we are. Not quite sure what that was about. I'm also going to do one at the hips. I'm going to do one at the shoulders. Chin. For this specific character, I'm going to do it at the bottom of the eyes just because there's such a huge defining feature. I'm going to do one at the top of the eyes, top of the head, hair. Depending on how detailed the character is, you can do one at like where the arms and the torso connect. I will, just so I can show y'all why you would want to do that. You know what? What the heck? We'll do one where the legs connect as well. We're feeling daring. We've got all these guides. They're all on their own layer. Just because guides kind of influence where your brush goes, for this, I'm gonna draw over the guides actually using a brush and then delete the guides themselves. That way it's not like tugging on my brush when I'm actually trying to draw something. So we're just gonna real quick. This is something you can literally just do with your mouse. Like, you don't even need anything crazy. We're just drawing straight lines. Mary, 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 not this! Come on! Do we really need a class pet? Come on, can we get like a goldfish or something? Let me find something here. One second. Okay, there we go. There's our new class pet. You're fired, Mary. That's for running between my two monitors and knocking everything over. Here's our new class pet. There you go. You can be like peeking out next to the desk. Don't worry about it. He's just there now. What was I even doing? How far did I get? Up here, I think. Awesome. Now we're gonna delete the ruler. And the lines are still there because we drew over them with an actual pen. Are these all notes? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get rid of the note layers. They're in the way. I'd recommend using a different color for the sketch than I would for using these lines. I'm gonna make them blue. Make them more transparent. I'm also gonna lock the layer so I don't draw on it by accident. Now I'm gonna make a new layer. For this one, we can do it outside the symmetry. This part doesn't necessarily need to be symmetrical. I'm gonna start facing towards the left just because that's where the reference is already facing, so it's just easier to do it that way. This is where the different guidelines come into play. So remember, we're gonna start going sort of backwards into super basic sketching, like the level 1 building blocks. Which probably feels a little bit like a drag, but just trust me on it. Let's change it to, let's do red. I'll redline my own drawing. Why not? Wrong tool. That's so funny. For certain things, like this main, like, foundational circle, we'll call it, that you did for the head, the general shape of the body, stuff like that you can just kind of draw over. It'll give you an idea of where everything's placed. Move it over. You don't necessarily have to do it in a different color, but it's easier to see. So that's what I'll do for the stream. And now, see from the bottom of the head, the very next line is where the bottom of the chin is, so we're gonna have that lined up. I'm gonna use the liquify tool to... Okay, first, I'm gonna put the sketch for the body on its own layer. So that way I can just have the head all together, so I can just liquify everything. Get like a nice good shape going there. We're gonna do something a little bit interesting, hide the head, and just kind of make the same sort of like neck shape. Just so we don't have something there throwing us off. So we can focus just on what we're working on and the guides. This is where we start breaking the symmetry because the character is not facing directly head on towards the camera, so it's probably not going to be symmetrical unless it's a perfect sphere. Most characters aren't a perfect sphere, because that's not very interesting to look at. Once you're happy, we can go ahead and turn the head back on, sort of readjust where things are sitting, so it doesn't look super strange or disproportionate or anything like that. The neck feels a bit long here. So we're gonna make the body a little bit bigger. Proportionally. That feels good. I can work with that. Now we're gonna do... I'm gonna do the front leg first, and then we're gonna throw the back leg behind it. And there is kind of a reason for that. So for the front angle, both feet planted firmly on the ground, right? If we're gonna be doing a 3/4 angle, just because of the way perspective works, and since this is a 2D design that we're not necessarily trying to make like 100% accurate for building a 3D model, we can mess with perspective. We can sort of push things a little bit more than they usually would be. So because we're at an angle now, the front foot is gonna be, it's gonna look like it's lower and a bit bigger than the back foot. Just to kind of give that, like, this is the look we're going for. So we're gonna have the front foot a little bit lower, not too much lower because then it'll just look lopsided, but we're gonna have it a little bit lower than the line. Pretty sure I also went too far with it, so we're gonna pull it back a little bit. There we go. I also feel like it's a little bit too far off to the side. So we're gonna bring it a little bit more straight up and down. And now when we do the back leg, we're gonna wanna do the opposite, make it a little bit higher than the guideline. This is why we also do things on different layers. Okay, that feels more proportionate, but they're both under that guide layer. So what I'm gonna do is just... There we go. The proportions aren't 100% accurate to the front-facing view, but that's the type of thing we can go back later and edit. For right now, we're just focused on getting the different angles. Any mistakes or things that look weird come after. My phone is ringing during class. Stream so bad somebody texted my phone number directly. It's like, what is going on? This is hilarious. Don't have your phones out during class, kids. Oh, I'm on a different layer. There we are. That works. Reminder to actually name your layers too. Don't be like me and get all caught up in having like 500 layers and then not knowing what's happening. Oh, you just got done making art for the main 8 bats you were working on? Oh, fun! Well, you know what? Hopefully this stream in particular will be pretty useful going forward, because today what we're doing is, if you've noticed, we're in a different environment. It's more like a classroom setting. I cannot reach the chalkboard, but that's okay because it's just there for the classroom projector that's gonna go bad and halfway through the class and be like, oh, well, that's unfortunate and nobody can see what's going on. But the teacher's still just gonna keep on going because that's just what we do. Anyhow. Don't forget, like, oh, I'm on the wrong layer, haha. Don't forget, like, for any other sketch you're doing, you're gonna want to flip the canvas and make sure nothing's crazy lopsided. Coincidentally, the way the sleeves and the arms lined up is pretty easy to use. Like, it lines up pretty well with the guides. So all we have to do is just... Oh, you know what we could do? The arms are simple enough that I can literally just do the same thing and just slide it over. I will exaggerate this curve a bit since it is at more of an angle, but other than that, we can literally just do the exact same thing. Perfect. And then same type of thing. Exaggerate the curve in the opposite direction because it's facing the other way now. A little bit of hand peeking out. There, awesome. We have arms now. I'm also gonna push, make it a tiny, slight little bit thinner. Like have it feel like it's going a little bit more upwards. Just cause I don't know how easy it was to see, but down here there was a bit of a tangent forming. And that's usually not super pleasant to look at. Unless it's like an intentionally flat piece. But for most drawings people are doing, that's not necessarily good. Never say never, art is subjective, but it's a good habit to break early. And we're just gonna do the same type of things for all the other different pieces. I'm sort of pushing the angle on some things to sort of... I don't know if this is the right terminology, but we're gonna imply facing a certain direction. Something like this type of deal. Right? Like, see how this is more like... This is more even. Almost kind of square, right? This is at more of an angle. I guess it's not quite a trapezoid, but it adds more, I guess, variety. No. It makes a nicer silhouette. Like, if you only saw the silhouette without seeing much detail, you could probably assume which direction the character is facing. That's what we're going for. We're gonna add the eyes. Same thing we've been doing, using these guides to sort of tell us where everything needs to be. Making some things more or less extreme to really push that angle. Gonna tell y'all a secret, break the rules of physics. Nobody's too worried about it. But notice how I've intentionally not done the bangs yet in the eyebrow. That's because that's not a perfectly symmetrical design. Like, if we were gonna flip this horizontally, it wouldn't look the same. Or it wouldn't... It's not supposed to look the same. So I'm just gonna save that for one of the last things I'm gonna do on this angle. That looks pretty good. So again, I'm gonna, like I've been mentioning, I'm gonna flip it, drag it over. Now we're gonna do... We're not gonna rotate the canvas, I misclicked. Misinput, misinput! Now we're gonna do this type of thing. I'm gonna show y'all something absolutely crazy. Save your gasps. Save your gasps. This is like... Words cannot begin to describe how smart this is gonna be. Remember what we did for the arms? Guess what? Absolutely insane. Crazy things are happening on the Technologica YouTube channel right now. Save your gasps. Save your gasps. Hold questions till the end. Look at that. I'll be offering autographs after the stream. This is why I'm a teacher. Look how smart I am, dude. Look at that. 2 for the price of 1. Nice and easy. Get those onto the sketch layer. And now we're gonna do something pretty much the same thing. I mean, a few differences because we're doing like a direct profile shot, but it's essentially the same process. So we can just grab some of these key shapes here. That looks pretty decent. I think I'll push it a little bit more forward. Make this less extreme on the front. Add a bit more separation between the neck and the chest. Yeah, I can live with that. Same type of process. Just for a side angle instead. If there's any specific questions, this would probably be the best time to ask. Since we've already been through the basic process a couple times, actually. Similar type of thing for the legs. You're only just barely gonna want to have that back one peeking through. I'm gonna show y'all something you're really gonna like for the back 3/4 shot. Remember, this is just a sketch, so it doesn't have to be super cleaned up. Or even necessarily that good, honestly. The arms are gonna be a little bit tricky. But if I'm gonna be completely honest, for a side view, I don't, or like a perfect like flat profile view, this may be a hot take. I don't know if you necessarily need to draw the arms. Which is why we have this line down here where the arm connects to the torso. Just put like a circle or something as reference where the arm connects, but don't actually worry about it for the turnaround. Mostly because it's gonna be on every other angle. You can see what the arm looks like. You can infer what it's gonna look like from the profile angle. It doesn't need to be blocking stuff you actually do kind of need to see for scaling purposes. I mean, I guess for the character this simple, you could make that argument for like, well, there's only like the bodice part of like a bolero jacket there. Like there's really nothing to see. But I don't know. I feel like just having like a giant arm, especially for proportions this extreme, I feel like just having a giant arm covering the entire body sort of defeats the point of doing the angle as a whole. Like for other characters that are more detailed, there may be like a scar or a tattoo or something there that you would probably need to see that's a bit more difficult to see from other angles. So in this case, I would prioritize everything else except the arm. That's also just the way I do it. Like that's the type of thing, it really depends on the character design and proportions and like art style. There's so many different factors. So that's why I don't want to say as a rule you have to skip the arms. I don't want to say as a rule you have to include the arms on the side angle. But remember before how I was talking about pushing the hair, we're gonna make that even more extreme. We're also gonna move this over because I'm starting to run out of room. It's not exactly the same length, but I'm okay with that. Like, it doesn't have to be the exact same. As long as it looks... It doesn't... The main thing you're going to want to keep circling back to in your brain is, as long as it doesn't look super inconsistent, then you're fine. Though I do think I'm going to bring it up a little bit. I may have pushed it a bit too far. Because it's not supposed to be super long, and I feel like that's... I'm pushing a bit of a line here. It's going from, like, around, like, shoulder, arm area to mid-back. So I want to be careful of that. I think we're good, though. I think we can get away with it. I'm also slightly going to change the shape of the hair for this front, the side angle. Because this is supposed to be, like, in the back type thing. Like, this... We're sort of implying it, like, having the bangs swooping, like... But, like, there's... You got the main body of the hair, and then you have the bangs, right? This is more of the main body of the hair. The bangs go behind the eyes. So it's like... You know characters that have big old giant glasses? And if their hair is pulled back, it's gonna probably go behind the glasses. Like, the glasses are gonna take priority on the layering. That's sort of the type of thing we're going for here. I know these aren't really glasses, they're giant screens. But that's like the same type of design logic I guess we're going for. Or I guess design philosophy is a better word. So we're gonna change things up a little bit. We're gonna have this part here, like, we're still gonna have, like, a close enough silhouette that you could still see the character only as, like, a shadow from the side angle and still know exactly who it is. But instead of having all this out to the side here, it's actually gonna... It's gonna go behind everything else. And we're not really gonna be able to see it. I think I may even go a little bit farther with it. I'm happy with that. I can live with that. Yeah, it looks close enough to the same hairstyle. Like, there's other defining features that are still there, so making one small change in the front like that doesn't really change much about, like, the entire design. No, I think it's fine how it is. And then we're gonna do the same thing. Flip it and then drag it over. Notice how, just like the other angles, we save the bangs and the eyebrow for last. You don't necessarily have to do that. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% consistent. If you're going for, like, 2000s, 2010s type feel, a lot of cartoons were very inconsistent about it back then. Like, think Friendship is Magic. People's, or I guess Pony's hair would change, like, where it was parted all the time. Sometimes even in the same scene. But a lot of times, even if it's still, like, a very paper cutout style Flash cartoon, it is a lot more consistent. Like, there's a different drawing for each separate angle. So, like, it doesn't have to be 100% consistent. But for this, I will. Just so y'all can... So I can say I tried.
Hello! Everybody say hi.
We may also have to break a rule and have the eyebrow on the wrong side for the other Direct side angle. Why is Skidward on the bottom of the screen? He's the new class pet. Mary's fired. Don't worry about it. She's 15. She'll find another job. But yeah, I think we're gonna break that design rule just because there needs to be some type of eyebrow. Otherwise, it just looks empty. Emoting becomes difficult. We can be a little bit cheeky with it. I won't tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. We're gonna also make that swoop a lot more dramatic so it looks like it's actually going down to the side. Because we don't really have a lot of space at the top to work with, so instead of trying to cram it all in... Let me tell you a secret. As long as it looks good, nobody's gonna be overanalyzing it. Like, it's... You could easily look at it and be like, yeah, it's just a stylistic choice. There. I'm not even gonna try and hide any forehead in there. Unlike me, this character doesn't have a super large forehead. I am the proud owner of a 6 head. It's not even a 5 head. Which is why I part my hair, like, off to the side, like, only a little tiny bit peeking out. We're gonna do... You see how, on this side, we have it going behind the eyes, right? I don't know if I can say we're gonna do the opposite, because I don't really know what that necessarily would mean, but we're gonna imply that it's coming out, like, more towards the front. We're still gonna have that swoop just because it's such... It feels like not necessarily an important part of the design, but, like, it's there, it's front and center. It'd feel incomplete to not have it. But we're gonna make it look more like it's going the other way. Maybe even make it a bit smaller. Maybe bring it even a bit further back so it looks more like it's on this side. Because I feel like... We're gonna do that and stop thinking about it. Because we're already halfway through the class. And then same thing, we're gonna make everything all the same color. Get out all the sketches onto the same layer. I'm gonna show y'all something you're gonna love. So now we're on the back 3/4 angle shot, right? Let me show y'all a little secret. It's a 3/4 shot. Luckily, we have one of those. You know what that means? Tracing! Tracing's okay if it's your own art. So we're gonna start with the hair because it's in front of everything else. Say hello to Father Logica, chat. Students, I mean. Not chat. This is not a live stream. We are attending class. Are you proud of me? I'm following in your footsteps, and apparently I'm a teacher now. My dad's proud of me, you guys! I guess I can't be a VTuber anymore. I'm sorry, that was... that was immature. Don't worry about it. Modern internet stuff. A joke everybody and their brothers already made. That was very out of pocket. You know what? As a treat, I'm gonna add a little bit of extra something something here on the back of the hair. Because it's just kind of a giant purple square. Like, I feel like there could be a lot more shape. There we go. Bring it, maybe even bring it up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks more hair-like. Gonna make this part a bit larger because it's a back angle, so it's gonna be more on the front of this angle, if that makes any sense. But we're also gonna bring it down lower to sort of give that same, like, same type of feel that it's in more so in the front. Do the arms. Depending on your art style, don't forget to push the angle of the sleeves. I'm gonna have it coming up in the back just to sort of add more, I guess, visual interest. It doesn't really matter. You don't necessarily have to do that. I'm just gonna.
I am the teacher. I get to make the choices.
The legs is really where it gets the most complicated. Instead of front, back, it's flipped. So this is gonna be in the front, this is gonna be in the back. Meaning instead of meh, meh, it's gonna be meh, meh. Does anybody have a clue what I'm yapping about? I'm also gonna, same way I've been doing with the sleeves, I'm really gonna push the curve of the pants. I'm gonna bring this a little bit farther up. I can be an adult about it. I can be an adult about it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That looks all right. I don't know if I brought that back far enough, so we're gonna real quick adjust that. Make it a bit shorter. Yeah, I can live with that. I do feel like I'm gonna make the hair less of just like a giant purple cube. Like I'm gonna shrink it a little bit. Which is one of those things that's not 100% accurate, but I feel like it does look a bit nicer. Like that's like such a small change, right? But I feel like it made a huge difference. Same thing I was talking about, like the whole trapezoid thing and like changing the silhouette on the side angle. Same type of thing. It implies more direction, I feel like. And this one is super easy because there's not really any... I won't say there's not as much detail, even though there kind of is, but that's besides the point. There's not anything on this angle that breaks the symmetry at all, so we don't really need to worry about, like, going back, adding extra details the same way we have been for other angles. So we can just kind of call it a day. Do we have room? Nope. Canvas size. Let's see, 30, 40. Let me do even 4. I don't think that's gonna be enough. Ugh! Let me do 45. That'll definitely be enough. That'll give us room to spare. Grab the entire folder and just drag it over. Nice. And then for the 100% back-facing angle, we're gonna do the exact same thing. Just gonna draw over this front-facing angle. You know what? I can do that in the symmetry. For the most part. I think I'm also gonna hide the guides, because that may be throwing me off. Because if we're just drawing over what we already have, there's really no need for them. Even if you don't know 100% that you're going to be seeing something, it's a good idea to sketch it anyway. Just because the character is going to be moving, it's not just going to be a static image. So, in some shots, it may be there for you to see. One thing I'm already noticing is I don't think I made the pants wide enough on the front shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and super quick. There. Much better. Add the little hands. How we looking? Nice. Pretty good, pretty good. Have that same little extra hidden treat in the back. Make it purple like everything else. There we go. I can call myself happy with that. This is another intersection where y'all got some choices to make. For some, this is really the most you need for a basic turnaround. But for some more detailed, more reference sheets than just turnarounds, some people may do up-down angles, some people might do different expressions, different hand poses even, depending on the character, facial expressions, just a bunch of extra little detail stuff like that. But just for a turnaround, this may be a hot take. I'm of the opinion that you don't need a ton of that stuff just for a turnaround, especially in animation. I mean, maybe if you're like, I don't know. I would never say you'd be wrong to include it. But if you're working in like a professional studio where you have more limited time, If you don't need to add something, I would probably recommend you don't, just so you're not cramming everything in and all it's lower quality as a whole because you didn't have much time to work on the fine details. Speaking of fine details, we're gonna take a look at this, and anything that looks wrong, we're gonna fix up now. I'm already noticing, forgot to add the hair off to the side here. Details like the neck and the shirt. Just gonna drag it over. I think I will also. Or you know what? Not even fight with the symmetry. Just use the ruler that's already there. Alright, nice. Feel like I've fixed up everything. Okay, yeah, we're good. Oh, now you've come crawling back because you got fired.
What?
She's just here staring at me.
What?
Alright, let's see. We got like 40 minutes left-ish. Closer to 45. Let's do sketch cleanup. Because yes, there is actually like, there's a method here. We're gonna keep these like guidelines visible but at a super low opacity so they're not necessarily in the way, but they're there if we need them. We're at a point where we can have all the sketch stuff on one layer. Don't forget to name your layers. Now we're gonna make a new layer for sketch cleanup. This probably depends on who you're working with, but for me, I don't necessarily, for an animation turnaround, I don't know that I would necessarily want to do like a full drawing like this. I would most likely just stick to doing outlines. So let's pick a new color. Let's do blue. Let's do like a nice happy blue color. Mary. Make it a bit darker so it's more contrast. That works. Maybe even darker still. Okay, yeah, that's good. All right. For this, I would recommend using a color that, a nice like dark contrasty color compared to a lighter background, and then a super thin pen. Because right now you're focused on shapes. You're not focused on like making a full drawing. That's not what this is. This is something for a character animator or a character rigger to go over and make vector shapes on top of. Even a lot of times I would recommend, even if it's like hand-drawn frame by frame, I would still recommend doing it this way, just so the animator still can see like the super basic shapes and where they all sit. So like, see, I'm just... Very similar process to outlining, but far more simplified, I'd argue. Even stuff that is all like one solid color, not necessarily something that has a visible outline. Like, see how the eyelashes are just like a solid shape. I'm not filling them in here. Like, when I say we're just focused on outlines, I mean that in like, we are only focused on outlines. Like, there is nothing else happening here. Here we go. Draw the rest of the head, even though... Are we probably gonna see this entire dome? I highly doubt it. I cannot think of a single instance where we're taking off some sort of wig. Like, this is pretty firmly attached. But do you know that for a fact? Nope. I can't guarantee that. I'm only an animator. I'm not... Whoa. I'm only an animator. I'm not here deciding, no, I think we're not supposed to see this part ever. Like, that's not my say. So we're gonna draw everything. I mean, we're not gonna be, for something like this where I won't say, like, break up each individual joint like that. That is something you can leave up to whoever's doing the animation or building or whatever. But for stuff like this where... I don't even begin to know, like, what all terminology I would use, but... Mary! Do not touch my keyboard. We're in office hours! You want the window? Are you telling me you want the window? Here you go. You're welcome. This is why you got fired. I mean, what? Who said that? Here we are. I know this looks like a lot. I know it's hard to keep track of what's what right now. But there's a way we can work around that. Right now, we're just focused on getting the outlines in. There. Now we have whatever this is. What am I looking at? I have no clue what any of this is. We're gonna make this... I'm gonna make this purple. You don't have to change the color. I'm just doing that so it's easier to see. This is where we're getting into where we're going to treat something like a more traditional sketch. Now we go over it. And we're only going to outline the stuff that you'd actually see. Still don't be filling stuff in. But like we're going to... It's going to be a lot cleaner. There's not going to be overlap happening. That way you can see, like, what everything is. Like, it's easier to tell what's going on. But you still have these extra little... I'm going to call them helpers in the background. Like, okay, this is where the rest of that shape goes. Like, that sort of thing. But once you get really good at it, I'm going to show y'all something crazy you can do. Duplicate this layer that's a whole mess. So much going on. But once you get to a point where it's pretty easy to see what's going on, like you're not going to have much trouble with it, you can just go in and erase stuff that overlaps instead of having to draw everything else. So that's what I'm going to do because huge time saver. Also, any artists who have drawn on the wrong layer will be very familiar with this technique already. Myself included. Womp womp. You can always go back and clean stuff up, but you don't necessarily have to. Like, this isn't something that's meant to look super great and be visually appealing. It's a guide for the people that are going to make what looks good and visually appealing. Like, this looks so much more readable now, right? Like, this is just like a normal drawing. You can see pretty easily what's going on. So that way when you have both together... Let's go ahead and make this that darker blue color so there's more separation. Or I guess contrast is an okay word to use here. But like, you can see like all the shapes and what's supposed to overlap with what. But it's more readable. That's what we're focusing on, readability right now. Because having these shapes to know exactly where everything is all well and good, but knowing where something is means nothing if you don't even know what you're looking at. Especially in super crowded areas, like down here. The hair, the shirt, the neck, the mouth, all of it overlapping. If it's some random intern's first day on the job and this is the first time they're building a character for 2D puppet animation, they're probably gonna look at this, be like, dude, I literally just graduated 2 weeks ago. What am I looking at? But thankfully, I don't go outside, so I don't have other hobbies. So I've gotten to the point where I can just, like, duplicate the layer and erase away stuff we don't need. And there we go. And then underneath the layer where we have all these crazy shapes is where we're actually going to color. So use this cleanup layer like you would any other reference. Or outline. Color it in. Pretty basic standard stuff. I'm not worried about stuff not being filled in 100% of the way. As long as the color's there for the animation, character building team to color pick from, nothing else matters. Unless something actually changes color. Like, even though it's not filled in all the way, it doesn't look super great, but like, you can look at it and you can pretty easily guess it's all meant to be one solid color. So it doesn't matter. Don't get bogged down in details that don't matter. You're gonna want to do that behind the shapes layer. Better yet, I'll even make it a multiply layer so it'll be darker than anything it's on top of. Something like that. This is where you're gonna end up. Real quick, let me... There we go. Let's rename this in Streamlabs so I know what I'm looking at. There we go. That's pretty much all the main points I wanted to hit. So this is, we can have the last half hour as less formal, like it's not been what it has. Anyway. We can have some working time if anybody's got questions. Go crazy. I'll be working more on the rest of the turnaround. See it in action. It's not that it's like the most difficult thing in the world to do, but it takes a lot of time and it can be very tedious, and there's certain parts of it that can seem like a lot more than they really are. But that is why we are here. We are here to learn and be educated. And ask questions when they arise. Next time we do a stream like this, it's going to be actual character design. Now that y'all know the type of stuff that goes into making a turnaround, I feel like we can move on and make character designs with all this in mind, so it's not like a complete nightmare to make a reference for, or so overly detailed that it gets to be unmanageable. In the description on the stream, I have a little sort of like... It feels wrong to call Discord a classroom, but it's there. It's kind of a classroom. Where there's going to be organized archives of all these streams in order. And then when I actually finish whatever I was doing in the stream, I'll have it there so y'all can take a look at it, see, like, on your own time, like, zoom in, look at all the little details. Like, you don't even really have to talk to anybody. You can just show up just to, like, look at all this stuff after it's done. Once I've done enough of these streams where I, like, have an entire character, like, built and ready for animation, I think it'd be fun to, like, try and condense it all down into one video. Like, obviously do some editing. Like, don't just, like, throw everything together. But, like, I think that'd be kind of fun. Have chapters separating each different thing. This is something that's going to be a lot of fun when we actually get to building the character. There's going to be way more layers just on this part alone than there necessarily need to be. It is what it is. Some characters are just like that. For the most part, you don't really have to do that. Like, a character's sleeves really don't have much reason to need to be that complex. But anything worth doing is also worth overdoing. Oh, this is gonna be fun, figuring out what to do with the legs. Alright. That actually wasn't so bad. Nice. I forgot I have a symmetry ruler on top of this. So I can't just like grab one line with like a lasso tool and like pull it around. I have to use the liquify tool. Or I guess I can't like control A. Like nice, quick and easy. Skill issue. Can I give some character design tips? That's going to be for next week. For today, we're just focusing on the turnaround, but next week, if you want to tune in for the actual character design part, that can be what we do. I mostly wanted to get this part out of the way first, just so you would know, like, what to expect going into making a turnaround. So that way, when you design characters, it's not something that would be a complete nightmare to make a reference for. But that's definitely going to be the next thing we do. What layer am I on? What? That's a different, okay. Okay. This is why we name our layers. I confused myself. This is so sad. But there's there's like a whole bunch of stuff with designing a character, like silhouette, color palette. A lot of different things to keep in mind. So throwing that all on top of something like this that has a whole bunch of mess on its own, like y'all can see. It's just way too much all for one stream. So the most merciful thing I can do for y'all and myself is separate it out. For when you're doing this part though, don't forget what things are meant to be symmetrical and what things aren't, so you can still have things facing the right way. Like same thing, like I'm saving the eyebrow and the hair swoop for the end. I'm also not using the same shade of purple, so let's just all make it one and the same. Or at least it didn't look like it was. I could also be making that up. What is this? That's the colors. I didn't name that layer. Oh, because it's a multiply layer, that's why it looked off. Teehee, teehee, whoopsies. Watch me make mistakes first, so y'all don't do it. And also watch, because I've been animating since like 2013, I think. Kind of. I started using Adobe Animate / Flash, whatever it was, in 2015. So I've literally been doing this for like 10 years, and I'm still gonna make stupid mistakes. It happens. Even after you've been at it for longer than I feel like any one person should. This is gonna be fun to clean up and make easier to read. Future problem. Right now I'm just making lines on paper. Is it called Create Your Story or is it Technological Create Your Story? It's Technological Create Your Story. That part's a subtitle. Because I noticed a lot of series from like the mid 2000s to the 2010s had some type of subtitle. Not like a lot, but it feels like enough did that it felt like something I should do to... I don't know. I just kind of did it. I think I saw like 1 or 2 shows from that era have a subtitle and was like, you know what? Great idea. And then I just kind of did it. I'm gonna be sneaky and copy paste this. Like, I'm just gonna draw the front leg. Control C, Control V, resize it. We're gonna call it done from there. Nice. Oh. I can't do that because there's a symmetry ruler. I should have thought of that. Nothing said I couldn't have done each angle on its own and then copied and pasted. Alright, well... Don't do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. That's very unfortunate. That's fine. I can live with it. How's it looking so far? Workable. That's something I feel like somebody could use. Getting into this back 3/4 angle is such a lovely change of pace. This is going to be so much simpler. This very, very much depends on the character design, but this one has so much hair that we don't have to worry about the head. I mean, if there's any alternate outfits where a character's got their hair pulled back, you're obviously going to want to make it like a whole new turnaround, but at that point, it's a whole new turnaround. Like, you're probably going to be starting over anyway. It's a completely different character build. The biggest thing you want is simplicity. Like, you want it to be easy for animators to work with. I'm gonna do something crazy and start with the back leg, actually. Now, something tells me if I'd been doing that the entire time, even being stuck using symmetry and only the liquefy tool would have been a lot easier. We live and we learn. I'm gonna say something naughty. I literally barely do this for character builds that I make. Oh my lord, come on. There, finally. Ah! No, not finally. Ah! There. That's better. For the most part, I just kind of make a character reference and then just make a rig. That's about it. I think only once have I done a character turnaround, and even then it was... You know what? Let me actually open it. Series... No, not like iPhone Siri. I mean like open a folder. Good heavens. Let me show y'all another turnaround I did for an animated character. Characters, turnarounds, no, crud. There it is. That's all I did. The design is symmetrical, so I didn't need to do two of each. Well, mostly symmetrical. It's only a name tag, just move it to the other side and you're done. But I didn't make things easy on myself and do like the entire like shape thing. My lord, hang on. Put these side by side for a sec. That's crazy. I just need to... I need a second. I need a second. This is the exact same person. There's only one character on my screen right now. I mean, I made a joke before because they both have the purple hair and they have like the same nose shape. But actually having them side by side is really doing some mental damage here. Come on now. Wait a minute. Let me... Oh. Now I'm thinking of something dangerous. Where is the PNG? Where is the PNG? PNGs. Let's do a bit of research here. It's at a lower resolution, but we're not worried about it. Ooh. I'd hoped not having a nose would make things different. But I don't think the nose matters. Do y'all think if I were to draw all these characters in the same style, they would straight up just look like the same character? Like if I remade all three of them in the Technologica style, like Melissa, I think Oh, they would all just they would be 3 Melissas. This is something I'm gonna clip this, and we're gonna run the clip next week during the character design stream, because this is very, very bad. This is not something you want to do. This is, like, actually bad. This is a problem. You want the character to still look individual no matter what style it's in. And the only thing separating these characters is, like, 1 or 2 accessories, maybe the skin color, and then the art style. That's all I got going for me. The outfit should not be what makes the character look different unless they're intended to be identical twins. None of these are even related to each other. This one's a robot, can't physically be related to anyone. These two don't exist in the same cinematic universe. Oh no. I mean, no. I can't even make a case. This is just bad. Oh my god, even like the darker purple in the middle with the lighter purple around it. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Y'all are watching real time as like everything is falling apart before my 4 eyes. This is the exact same person 3 times. At least I can say they're not all the same height. That's really the... No. No, it's only Melissa. The other 2 are the same height. They're both 5'5". Oh no. Every time I think more about it, every time I think I'm like, well, here's something I can use as a defense. Everything I say can and is being held against me. Even the yellow used as an accent? Oh my... Oh. The literal only thing I have going for me is one of them wears glasses. And these 2 are like a very bluey purple. This one is more warm. 2 visible eyebrows, 1 visible eyebrow. Eyebrows sit behind the bangs. Purple eyes, weird navy blue that might as well just be purple at this point. I don't think it matters. My lord, even the thing on the glasses and the same shape as the eyelashes, oh my... Holy crap. You would think it was intentional. You would think there was like an intentional nod supposed to be like, haha, funny, same character in all 3 series. No. 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 I don't even know what I'm supposed to say at this point, dude. Okay, you could make the argument one of them is an android and the other 2 are humans. But does that really matter? Like, put them all in the same style, you would think, okay, it's a robot clone. It's a robot designed after this character that exists twice in an alternate outfit. This is an example of what not to do. I'm tweaking. I'm actually tweaking. The longer I look, the worse it gets. Hang on. Let's put them all on the same canvas and look at some actual, like, colors. Change canvas size. Width, we'll make it 600. No, we'll make it 900. Five-minute warning. Release me from this. It's almost over. This is... Oh my god. This is bad. I am... Oh, dude, it's game over. Alright, let's... I don't think I can make this much bigger, but like y'all can... Alright, let's start with the skin tones. Alright, there's that one. That's the exact same color. I don't even know how that's possible. That should... Ooh. That's the exact same color. That's not even a... Oh my god. Alright, let's do the eyes. It's hue shifted, that's it. It's just a slightly different blue. This isn't even a proper purple. It's just a very desaturated blue. You know what this is? Very desaturated blue. Dare I? Alright, that's like a dark magenta. Is this any different, please? It is! It is! It's more saturated. Okay. We have that. See, slightly less saturated. This is definitely more saturated. See, okay. It's not all bad. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Melissa's undershirt's like a really dark purple. Like a dark bluey purple. Let's color drop this outline here. That's not looking promising. Oh my. Yeah, that's the same color yet again. Holy moly. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. No, dude. Two-minute warning. That's so nice. I'm so glad it's almost over. I don't think it's gonna be super close, but let's... Or not like... It'll be close, but it's not the exact same color. Oh, nah. Nah, that's pretty bad. This character comparison has been very educational. I'm glad. I'm teaching you guys what not to do. I'm showing y'all what bad character design is. I have a purple problem. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's bad. We're gonna zoom in on this. We're gonna zoom in on that. If I can redirect your attention. Hold on, let me close this so I can draw an arrow on the stream. If I can redirect your attention down here on the chalkboard. Like purple, but you really like purple? Nah. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you could possibly mean by that. What do you think my favorite color is, you guys? Obviously, it's orange, right? Okay, Oh, thank God it's 5. Turn the projector off. I've seen enough. I don't even have a defense. We're just gonna... I'll see y'all. Stay great. crazy, stay cool, stay creative, and don't do this.